All right, let's talk about something that every AI artist and VJ runs into. You've made this absolutely amazing AI video, but how do you get it from your laptop screen to a massive 4K festival display? That's what we're diving into today.
So you know the drill, right? You spent hours tweaking your prompt. You finally get that perfect, stunning visual loop. And then you'll look at the file specs. It's tiny, maybe 512 by 512, 720p if you're lucky. So the big question is, how in the world do you take that small file and make it look incredible on a giant 4K LED wall for your next gig? That's the puzzle we're gonna solve.
Okay, so first things first, let's really break down the core of the problem here. AI video, by its very nature, has a serious resolution issue. So here's the deal. AI models, to save on things like processing time and that precious VRAM on your graphics card, they spit out video at really low resolutions. But the pro world, festivals, concerts, big art installations, they all demand 4K. And you can't just stretch your video, right? That would look like a blurry, pixelated mess. It's just not professional. This is why AI-powered upscaling isn't just a nice to have. It is an absolutely essential, non-negotiable part of any serious VJ's workflow. Now, I know what you're thinking. Can't I just open up a tool like Topaz Video AI and hit the magic auto button? And look, I get the temptation, but trust me, for AI-generated art, that can be a disaster. It can actually ruin your work. Let me show you why. Okay, let's look at a popular one, the Artemis model. See, Artemis was trained to clean up normal video footage. So when it looks at your AI art, it sees all that beautiful intentional texture from the diffusion model, the stuff that makes it art, and it thinks, oh, that's noise. I gotta fix that. So it just aggressively scrubs all that detail away. What you're left with is this waxy, plastic-looking thing that has zero character. It's literally trying to fix the art right out of your video. And then you've got the Iris model. This one's even wilder. It's trained to find and restore human faces, which is great, unless you're feeding it abstract art. Then it just goes haywire. It starts seeing things that aren't there. It's this thing called pareidolia. The AI starts hallucinating eyes and mouths all over your beautiful abstract piece, creating these creepy, grotesque monster faces that completely destroy the vibe. So, this is where our hero enters the story. We don't need a black box that makes decisions for us. We need a creative instrument. We need manual control. And that, my friends, is exactly what the Proteus model is all about. Yeah, Proteus is the real workhorse of the Topaz suite. And what's so cool about it is that it's not some totally different, secret AI. It's a general enhancement model, but, and this is the key, it opens up its internal settings to you with 6 simple sliders. This means you can finally get under the hood and tell the AI exactly how you want it to upscale your art, making sure it respects your original vision. So why is this manual control such a game changer? Well, it comes down to 3 big things. First, you can actually keep your intentional glitch artifacts, the stuff other models would just wipe out. Second, you can finally get a handle on that classic AI video boiling or flicker. And third, you get total control over the sharpness. You decide, do you want a super crisp digital look or something softer and more cinematic? The power is yours. All right, enough talk. Let's get practical. If you're going to use this powerful tool, you need to know how it works. So let's break down the most important sliders, the ones you're going to be touching on pretty much every project. First one up, recover details. This slider is without a doubt the most powerful one on the panel, and also the most dangerous. What it does is it tells the AI to basically invent new high-frequency texture based on the information it sees. Think of it like telling it to add the weave to fabric or the pores on skin. But, and this is a big but, when you're working with AI art, you have to be so careful with this one. There's a perfect way to describe the risk here. You're hallucinating on top of hallucinations. I mean, think about it. Your original video is already a hallucination from an AI model. If you crank recover details way up, the upscaler starts making up its own details on top of that. And that's when you get these weird, distracting grid patterns and ugly splotches. So here's the pro tip. Keep this setting low. Seriously, I'm talking between 10 and 20, tops. Okay, next up is revert compression. This one's job is to fix those chunky, blocky artifacts you get from heavy video compression. And for our purposes, with AI art, it's absolutely perfect for smoothing out those subtle banding or tiling mistakes that sometimes pop up when a model like Stable Diffusion is finishing its generation. But here's the thing, how you use this slider is totally up to your art style. If you're making glitch art, for example, you're going to keep this near 0, right? You want those sharp, crunchy artifacts. But if you're going for a super dreamy, ethereal vibe, you'll crank it higher to get those buttery smooth gradients. See? It's not just a technical fix, it's a creative decision. And last but not least, we have the anti-alias/deblur slider. This one is really cool because it goes both ways. If you push it to the right into the positive numbers, it deblurs the image. You get a really crisp, focused look. Awesome for cinematic stuff. But if you slide it to the left into the negative numbers, it does the opposite. It actually softens jagged edges, which is amazing for preserving that sharp digital aesthetic of pixel art or something with a cyberpunk feel. Okay, so we've got a handle on the individual sliders. Now let's put it all together into a real workflow. Because a pro-level VJ setup is about more than just tweaking a few settings once, especially when you're prepping for a huge live show. All right, you want to know the real secret of the pros? It's a 2-pass method. Here's how it works. Your first pass is just a cleaning pass. You stay at the original resolution, and your only goal is to get rid of compression junk and noise. Then you export that as a super high-quality master file. Then you do a second pass. You take that perfectly clean file, and that's when you do the actual 4K upscale, focusing only on adding detail and sharpness. By splitting up the jobs, you get a result that is just dramatically cleaner. It's a game changer. I have to make a quick but really important point about hardware. This stuff is intense on your computer. If you're a VJ who needs to prep hundreds of loops for a set, your render time can become a huge production bottleneck. Your graphics card isn't just a piece of tech, it's a critical part of your creative pipeline. And check this out, the performance difference is just insane. A top-tier card like an RTX 4090 can be 300 to 400% faster than a perfectly good RTX 3060. What does that mean in the real world? It's the difference between leaving your computer to render overnight and hoping it's done versus just getting it finished in a couple of hours. For a working professional, that time is everything. And it's not just about raw speed, it's about stability too. For 4K upscaling, you really need at least 12 gigs of VRAM. If you have any less, you're just asking for memory errors and crashes, especially when you're working with longer clips. Okay, listen up, because this tip right here will save your life. You know how Topaz can sometimes break your perfect seamless loops? It's because it processes the beginning and end frames a little differently. Well, the fix is so simple, it's genius. Before you upscale, just triple your clip in your video editor. Copy-paste it 3 times. Then run that longer file through Topaz. When it's done, you just go back and cut out the clean middle section. Voila! The start and end frames are now perfect, and your seamless loop is saved. All right, one last pro tip, and this one's about delivery. Whatever you do not try to VJ with the file that Topaz spits out directly. The right way to do it is to first export a high-quality master file, something like a ProRes. Then you take that master file and you convert it into a special performance codec like DXV or HAP. These formats are built from the ground up for super smooth, real-time playback in VJ software. It makes all the difference. So there you have it. We've gone all the way from a tiny little pixelated file to a gorgeous, pristine 4K video that's ready for the biggest screens in the world. You've got the tools now, you've got the professional workflow, so really there's only one question left to ask. Now that your canvas is 4K, what are you going to create on it?